7 Ways to be Less Reactive Person. Hi, my name is Dr. Meghana Dikshit. I'm the author of the book You Matter and Brain and Performance Expert. If you're new to this channel, subscribe and hit the bell icon. This is a topic that you have asked me to do again and again. You have posted in the comment section and asked me, how do I become less reactive to people or situations? How do I not feel angry the way I feel all the time? So here you go. We are going to discuss 7 different ways that you can train your brain to become less reactive person. So if you're ready, type ready in the chat box and let's dive deeper. See, any kind of an experience or a situation you're going through that is causing stress, whether it's mentally, emotionally or physically it's causing you stress, it's going to increase your survival mechanism inside your brain. What is our survival mechanism? 7.5 million of years back, when humans trotted on this planet for the first time, we were the lowest at the life chain and rest everything was above us. And we had the threat, we had the scare that the lions and tigers will attack us and will kill us. We were the prey to the predators. And every time you go through a stressful situation, whether there is a real tiger in front of you or whether there is a trigger in front of you in terms of your spouse, boss, traffic, money loss, or any sort of a event that causes unpleasant feeling inside you or makes you feel stressed, it's going to make you go back into the coping mechanism of 7.5 million of years back. That is a mechanism of either run away from the situation or fight with the situation. Now, I have seen in my practice that 90% of the people in the world actually are all the time living in the fight and flight mechanism. Now, what exactly happens for you to get into fight and flight mechanism? Think about it. Any unpleasant situation or experience that you're going through, which you're not comfortable with, what's going to happen inside you is you're going to go back in your childhood. And as a child, the person you were, whether you were the person who were reacting and being aggressive or fighting with that situation, trying to overcome it, or you were a child who were always passive, scared and hiding under the table when there was an uncomfortable situation. Every time, even in your adult life, whether you are in a situation which is, you're sitting in a boardroom meeting where somebody asked you for your opinion, and if you were a child who was aggressive, you might end up speaking something stupid which was irrelevant or which will tell people that you're not ready to give your opinion. Or even if you are ready to give your opinion, and if you were a child who was hiding under the table, you will suddenly go quiet and blank and you will kind of make other people feel that you're not ready for it. In the moments of stress, especially when you feel stressful, see, every person has a different ability to cope with the stress, and what stress looks like for every person is different. Now, when anything that is stressful to you comes to you, 70% of your blood goes from your brain back to your extremities to prepare you to fight with the situation or run away from the situation. If 70% of the blood is taken away from your prefrontal cortex is a seat of judgment, rational thinking, logic, that goes away. And suddenly you will observe yourself having less oxygen provided to your brain. Less oxygen, less blood supply in terms of feeling that you're not safe. And the moment you feel you're not safe, your defense mechanism comes up, and immediately when you feel defensive, your old reactions come up. And these old reactions mostly are not for that particular person in front of you or that situation that is there in front of you, but these emotional wounds that are coming from the past are erupting back in your space and causing you to react in a certain way. So most often when you get angry unnecessarily, later on you feel, oh, why did I get so much angry on something so silly? It was not necessary. Or, when you do the aftermath thinking, oh, I should have spoken at that time. Why did I keep quiet? It was not necessary. In that moment, your entire understanding of the situation is gone on a toss. Most often you may be exaggerating the scenario in your head by thinking of the worst case outcome, or you may be underestimating the scenario in your head and you're just kind of like lying low and saying okay, it's all good, it's in under control. When there is a less blood supply to your prefrontal cortex, your judgment is impaired and you're not able to understand what realistically happening in that situation. And when you don't understand what is happening realistically, there you go. Once again, you are in a situation where there is a tiger chasing you, and now you are in a very critical moment where either you have to fight back or you have to run away. Now that you have understood why are you reacting to a certain situation or some people, now it's time for us to understand how to retrain our brain to change this reactive behavior. But first you need to understand this, that when you want to fight a battle, or when a soldier is preparing to fight a battle, the soldier does not prepare to fight the battle in the battle, right? You prepare before the battle begins. When you are in the battle, you fight the battle. Now, I'm not giving this metaphor for you as you are fighting any battle of life, but what I'm telling you is the retraining your brain is a preparatory mechanism. More than, in the situation, you have to prepare yourself before the situation. So you got to understand that there are some people or some situations or some news is kind of a trigger to you for this reactive behavior. What I want you to do is, I want you to for a moment reflect on this statement of mine. You know your triggers, and what I want you to do is maybe pause this video and take a pen and paper and write down all the triggers that you remember. People, situations, social media posts, political views, maybe gender biases, maybe religious views. What exactly does make you feel threatened or make you feel unsafe? If you can write down all your triggers and then eventually use these 7 steps that I'm sharing with you to work with each and every trigger, it will slowly help you to overcome all your barriers and train your brain to be more responsive than reactive as a person. So if you are ready, type ready in the chat box and we'll begin. Step number 1. Take time to reflect the situation that you are in, or you find yourself again and again reacting. Pause and formulate a plan. Devise a plan that next time how you're going to behave in this situation. Now, my suggestion is come up with at least 2 or 3 options so you can give your brain the most comfortable option in that situation. Suppose you are in a boardroom meeting and you are not able to give your opinion without getting hyper or without feeling scared. Now, in this scenario, in the next time the meeting happens, how would you like to respond to that question? Now, imagine the second step is visualize that you are in that scenario already, okay? And in that scenario, maybe your boss is asking you for an opinion. The moment your boss asks you for an opinion, how would you like to now respond to it? Look at yourself sitting in that boardroom. If you're someone who's aggressive and gets hyper, then how would you like to change that in yourself? Look at your body, your posture, the way you speak, the way you're taking the pauses, the way you're breathing, the way you're looking into every person sitting in that room, their eyes, the way you're comfortable connecting with people. Everything that you would like to change in this scenario that you don't appreciate about yourself, how would you like to do that? Remember, you cannot change or control other people's behaviors. The only thing that you can change is within yourself. If you're someone who's shy of giving your opinions in a boardroom meeting, feeling, people will criticize you or they will not like it, they will reject your ideas. This time, if suppose they are criticizing or rejecting you, how would you like to take that rejection or criticism? How would you shrug it off, not feeling that this is a personal attack? What happens in your body in that moment when you're more confident, when you are ready, and when you're saying that it's okay, they may not agree or appreciate my idea, but that doesn't mean it's a personal attack on me. We are looking at the bigger picture of organization's benefit. So what can I come up with better that I can help my organization and in turn advance my own agenda or my own career? So this is one example of a situation that might be triggering you. I want to know in the chat box, are there specific situations in your life that trigger you? So that maybe I can pick up these examples and create more videos to help you in your specific situation. It would really help me to help you better. So make sure that you type your specific situation and I would definitely make a video on it. Step number 3. Find a healthy outlet to release your pent-up emotions. If you're angry, how would you like to cool down before you react? Like, long time back when I was younger and I used to react to everything. For me to train my brain, my father had suggested me one idea and he said that Meghna, if you get angry so often, why don't you do one thing? That every time that you know that there's an anger, surging up, start counting backwards from 20 to 0. And most likely in most situations, by the time I would come from 20 to 0, that whole burst and that bubble had, come down. So what could be a healthy way to release your pent-up emotions? In some of the therapy sessions, I remember in some of my students, those who are really, suppressed their anger and then, it was erupting unnecessarily like a volcano at the wrong places. In therapy sessions itself, I had handed over them a pillow and asked them to punch this pillow, feeling that you are probably releasing all your anger that is pent up or that's coming from that past traumatic wound. You can come up with creative ideas to release your pent up emotions. 4th step, adopt some relaxation technique. Self-hypnosis or yoga nidra are the best ways that you can slowly start training your body to not be addicted to these behaviors but calming yourself. And the more you practice these processes like self-hypnosis or self-relaxation or a yoga nidra, it will definitely help you to eventually calm down even in your triggered situations. Remember, the key here is doing it consistently every single day, no matter what. Step number 5, judgment. It's very much inbuilt in our brain. We are what we are today is because we were constantly judging and assessing other people and situations in our life. But remember this, sometimes over-judging or sometimes not being able to give benefit of doubt to yourself and others can cause a lot of trauma to you. So rather than judging other people or yourself, trying to practice that, okay, this person had said something like this, how can I be more neutral towards this sentence, or how can I be more neutral towards this allegation, if it is an allegation, or this confrontation or this argument. So practicing neutrality, slowly dropping your judgments about the things that you have in your life. Now notice, what do you judge the most? Is it gender bias? Is it political views? Is it religious views? Or what sort of or geographical views? What are the typical conflicts that you go through? Like, let me give an example. A typical conflict for ages happening in our country is Mumbai or Delhi, right? So are you taking sides unnecessarily for things like that which do not actually impact your life? Most often when you take sides like that and you go extreme on some sides of something that doesn't impact your life directly, you are actually wiring your brain to immediately react to something that's unnecessary. So practicing neutrality and the things that do not affect your life directly, dropping them down. Because you know what, no matter what, all of these things that are going on in your life, and it's great to have your views, But it's not okay that those views eventually create some reactions in your body. Like, look at social media trolling. Look at the way people pull each other down on social media or any of those sites is because they are reactive. So how can you start negating all these views which do not directly impact your life and majorly do not contribute to make your life better? The sixth step for you is to practice asking more questions. Say you are in a situation that is threatening, that is confronting, or where you are uncomfortable. How about asking some questions about somebody said that, I don't like this is the way you're doing things, or you could do this in a different way. Maybe asking a question differently and saying that I hear you this way and I feel that you do not like me doing things this way. Do you have any suggestions? What would you like me to do instead of this? How would you like me to improve in my behaviors or in my performance if this is something you do not like? So asking a counter question, making the person feel that you are interested in improving, at the same time making the person think that what exactly they want to tell you. Because telling you that I don't like this way or I don't want this way is a very vague conversation, and that doesn't really add any value to your life or their life. So asking questions about the things that are spoken or about the things that are you're observing. And when you ask these questions, relevant questions, that gives you more clarity. And the moment you get more clarity, you get more time to frame your response. Seventh and the last step. Today's time, we are living in such a world where information is at the tip of the finger, where there is so much social media influence, so much newspapers, news channels influence is happening on us. How about deleting those social media channels or those people, those who are irrelevant to your growth? These social media channels that are adding fuel to the fire, how about just releasing them from your environment? How about deleting them? How about unfollowing those people, those who do not add value to your life and unnecessarily creating distraction in your space? These are my 7 steps to become the less reactive person. I have used all of them to be where I am. Once upon a time, as a child, I was a very reactive person. And by using these 7 steps, I have today become a very responsive person. So I have done my best in this video to help you to become less reactive. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up, share it with at least 10 more people, and come back again.